Hello, Hofstra fans, and welcome to another WB Mason Coaches Report. Courtney Veinotte, the head coach of Hofstra Field Hockey. Good morning, Coach. How's it going today?
Good morning. Happy Monday. How are you?
Happy Monday to you too. Things are going well over here. The team was back in Connecticut this weekend for a non-conference game against Yale. Lika Horsch, she scored the opener, but unfortunately a 6-1 result against Hofstra in favor of Yale. Looking back on the film, what can you say about the game against Yale?
Yeah, it was a very high energy game from Yale, and they did a great job of just plugging away at the game. And ultimately, it was a very evenly statted game minus the goals. Ultimately the first three quarters, it was a 2-1 ball game and very transitional and back and forth in the fourth quarter. There were a couple of defensive transition breakdowns that ended up resulting in 3 goals. And so the score is a 6-1, 6-1 loss, but it wasn't really that until the last half of that fourth quarter and that feeling. But Yale ultimately, their energy and momentum took the game, and they really took advantage of their circle opportunities, and we not so much. So it was a tough one yesterday, but I think that our team took a lot from it, and we'll find a way to learn and keep pushing.
It's good that the team was able to learn something from that performance, and then looking at the stats, the score may have been 6-1, but it was 16-13 in total shots. That's a narrow margin for Yale. 6-6 on penalty corners. Like you said, it was a pretty even game. Obviously minus the 6 goals, but it was still that's still an encouraging performance from your team against someone a team that performed as well as they did as Yale.
Mm-hmm.
You started CC DeSimone in goal at that game, the second straight start for her, and then you switched over to Merline in that second half. You did that against Fairfield. You did that against Yale. What was the decision behind that to give CC those 2 starts and then bring Merline in relief in the second half for those games?
Yeah, I mean, CC DeSimone is, I know we've talked about her many times this season, and kind of her work ethic and her leadership role on this team, and how much she really ripple affects our team in a positive manner. And she's here in her 5th year, and she worked, and she deserves those 2 starts, and ultimately wanted to keep Merline also playing at the same time, and so split the 2 games with them these past 2. And I think it was a great decision to get both playing still, and also give CC those 2 starts. Well deserved.
Yeah, absolutely. And credit to CC, not starting the whole year and then getting 2 starts back to back. I thought she played very well against Fairfield, 2 saves in that first half, and then another 2 saves against Yale. She performed very well. And credit to Merline too. It's a different mindset when you start a game, and then you go from that, then you go to coming in the second half and performing the way that they did. I thought the goalies played very well for Hofstra over the weekend.
Yeah, unfortunately, where we broke down, it was more of a speed and transitional kind of transition game that they ended up scoring their last 3 on. And it's tough, right? Like, it's not penalty corners, it's not like set free hit plays. It's caught us in transition, put us in some serious numbers down situations, and they ended up capitalizing and finding the back of the net. So it was a tough fourth quarter there.
No comment for me on that one. And so coming into the non-conference schedule's done. The regular season finale is this Friday on the road at Northeastern. They're coming off a 4-0 win over Towson over the past weekend. What can you say about Northeastern heading into the week?
Yeah, Northeastern and Hofstra, I think, in the past couple of seasons here, have ended up battling and trying to. We end up kind of in these tight games that push one or the other into the tournament, and so it's going to be an absolute battle. And I think that both of our teams match up very well together, and are very highly competitive. They're high competitive games when we do play them. In 2019, we traveled up there and we got the game in overtime. They traveled down here. and they ended up coming back and beating us on our turf here last year. So ultimately, I think it's going to be a very competitive game and full of speed, and it's going to be a game of who capitalizes inside their circle and who can, put some stops. So we'll see. It'll be a good one between us two.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be a phenomenal game between Hofstra and Northeastern. Close games, like you said, the last couple of years. With this game, pretty much, it seems like it's going to determine the seeding and who gets in that final spot in the CAA championship. Are you and the coaches like what are you telling the team going into this game with those postseason implications on the line? Like, are you just keeping them aware of it, or are you just push those thoughts out of your head, focus on the game in front of you?
No, I think for the future of our program to get to the point of one, understanding, learning the process of making the tournament, and also creating the expectation that we need to make the tournament every year, is being as transparent and as forward as exactly what situation we are in and how the situations are created. And so ultimately right now we need to beat Northeastern to get ourselves into a 2-4 tie with Northeastern and Drexel for that last seed of the tournament. And then it will come down to goal differential. So goal differential of just the CAA play. So we're needing to put in quite a few against Northeastern this weekend in order to go through. But ultimately here, we're trying to build for the future and not necessarily just for right now. So when, discussing this with the team, and even a couple weeks back, we are putting not pressure, but we are putting realistic discussions in that this is a must-win game, or this game, we need to fight for this game. It's not necessarily do all be all, but this game is must win, right? And so being realistic with what the games mean, and I think it's good that athletes have pressure going into games and understanding kind of the real situation. So it's been a discussion for the whole conference play, and it's something that we're open with our athletes for sure.
It's good that you're open about that dialogue. I know traditional coach speak is we're on to Cincinnati, as Bill Belichick says. We're on to the team in front of us. Outside noise, ignore it. But it's good that you're emphasizing this is a must-win. This is a good barometer of where the program is 3 years into the Courtney Veinotte era.
Yeah, and even just playing these non-conference matches in your conference play, sometimes they're tough because conference play brings a different energy to the match. But with that being said, it's also good to practice pushing through things, overtime situations, shootout situations, and matching, seeing if you can match the tempo of conference play and finish games when you need to finish games too. So it's been a really good open discussion. I think it's been good for our young kids and our returners to understand kind of where we are in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely setting up for a very high intensity, very just a crazy Friday of CAA field hockey for Northeastern.
Yes.
So it'll be this Friday, October 29th at 4 p.m. at Northeastern. The game will be broadcast live on Flow Live through Flow Sports. Follow everything on Hofstra Field Hockey at gohofstra.com. For head coach Courtney Veinotte, I am Nick Capitos, and thank you for joining us for this week's WB Mason Coaches Report.